latest Lego Ideas like official set was announced today.
So these are the ones down here, and as you can see by the image, there are 3 chosen projects. One of them is the home. Well, we'll go, I guess, bottom up. There's Seinfeld 30th anniversary, which I guess the secret to getting your project approved on Lego Ideas is just base one set around a sitcom in one scene, and like you're good. There you go.
I mean, it's certainly
cash money.
It lends itself to it because it's like, there's an iconic, living room scene or something like that from these shows, and they're very, very popular. So it's easy to get to 10,000 votes. So I think it lends itself nicely to that. I should mention for this design, Brent Waller, an Australian builder, did this. He's the same guy who designed the Ghostbusters Ecto 1 years and years ago. I think that was one of the first idea sets, actually. So he's coming like full circle here. And I actually interviewed him a couple weeks ago on our Idea Spotlight stream. So if people want to hear more about, kind of his, he has a bunch of different designs actually on Ideas right now. Just his approach to his Ideas projects and everything. You can definitely check out that interview because he had a lot of good kind of behind the scenes with his content. But yeah, this is his Seinfeld project here.
Yeah, I'm surprised Seinfeld got approved only because of like typically the tone of the show is more adult oriented. It's not like, Friends is more, I mean, Seinfeld is very mainstream as well, but like Friends is more like not a whole, I don't know. It's just a different vibe. Like Seinfeld, I find to be legitimate funny, not like sitcom, like here's the laugh track funny. So, and like, yeah, the Jerry Seinfeld, everybody, the whole cast is great. So I'm surprised, but I'm welcoming it, man. I love Seinfeld, and it falls in line right with Friends and with Big Bang Theory. So that leaves me to believe, all right, what's the next one? What's the next living room apartment building? What are we looking at here for sitcoms? I don't know what's left. Yeah, right. I have no idea what's left. Maybe Full House. That'd be quite a assortment of minifigures, but yeah. Now there has to be one thing included with this set, which I don't know if they'll be able to pull off because of licensing and all that. But apparently, from what I remember, a fun fact about Seinfeld is that in every single episode, in at least one shot, there is a shot of the Superman action figure in the background on Jerry's shelf.
Huh.
So that would be something cool to toss in there. But it would have to be like a very vague red and blue micro figure on a shelf. But who knows if that'll be possible. But that'd be a cool little fun fact there.
I actually don't know if I've ever sat down and watched an entire episode of Seinfeld. I've seen like clips and I've seen parts.
Yeah. It's called The Show About Nothing for a reason. And I don't know if you would like totally super vibe with it. But like, I find it very funny. The antics are very outlandish, and yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, no, certainly I've seen some funny scenes from it over the years, so I can see the appeal. It's not like I'm not a fan or anything.
Totally. Oh yeah.
So that's the first one. So the second one then here is the typewriter, and I would say for me this is the one of these 3 I'm most excited about. I feel like it's kind of the most original, most unique design of these 3. Totally.
Yeah. I'm glad you feel that way. I can't speak to this as much. I mean, I look at it from the perspective of somebody going to the Lego store and seeing what this is. And I feel like, your typical mom or dad would be mad. Like, what do you mean it doesn't type things? But it's a typewriter. What are you talking about? So in the same way that the piano in the original incarnation did not play any sound. So I don't know how that would go about like selling it. It's a very impressive model. Obviously, it's a typewriter. The technicality that goes into it is beautiful, and there has to be some sort of function with it. I don't think it would resonate as much if it's a static model. So we'll see what ends up happening with it. For sure.
But I think even if there isn't a lot of functionality, this could look, certainly for an adult audience, be a really cool like just display piece.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean. I don't know when we could see these sets, but yeah, I think the piano got approved a while ago. We haven't seen that yet.
So, yeah, I've been wondering about that actually. Like the piano seems to be taking longer than normal to get that out.
I would guess there has to be some sort of sound functionality with that, whether not like an actual piano, like verbatim, but like something with it. So I would hope there's something there. So probably the same crowd. I mean, just from what I'm basing it off of nothing. That crowd would probably like the Typewriter as well. This like very articulate Technic model that, whatever. So we'll see.
That's a good point. John already tweeted at Tom Hanks earlier to see if we could collab with a review. So I'm sure we'll hear from him soon.
Perfect. And the final one, the one I am probably most excited for because I love Christmas. I didn't think they would go with Home Alone, man. That's a great one. I love it.
Yeah, no, the Home Alone, I mean, the movie, obviously fantastic, amazing movie.
Yep.
And then the model here, I actually haven't spent too much time looking at like the, John can share some of the photos here, the inside details. So is there a lot of the different details they were able to include in here?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. You can see that the house cracks open. And I don't think for the official model, it would crack open that way. I think it would probably be like dollhouse style if I had to guess. But I've been waiting for Lego to do a American suburban home, and they seem to have not done that recently or anything like that. And this is exactly what this is. It's like Chicago suburbs, like perfect, and the interior has all sorts of details. It just feels like Christmas, so I would guess this would come out September 2021 or something. It has to be on shelves for Christmas, obviously. I'd be curious if this would be in lieu of a Winter Village set, because this would constitute as a giant Christmas set, So,
right, yeah, and like you said, you get this set out before Christmas, and I feel like you're going to see fantastic sales there.
Oh yeah,
so many people just love this movie, and yeah, the more I'm llooking at the details, I'm more excited for this set now, as I hadn't looked too closely at a lot of these photos, but. It certainly has like pretty much every detail from the movie there, and all the different the different traps he set for the robbers and everything.
Yeah, and with any like custom printed pieces or new pieces, Lego would come out in that time to like really sell like the kitchen and the basement or whatever. Like that, they could do some really incredibly creative things with this model. So I'm very much so looking forward to it. And I quote the movie all the time, man. Like, keep the change, you filthy animal. Love it. Love it. Man, it's beautiful.
Also, any movie set in Chicago, I think is cool, as someone who has a great affinity for the city of Chicago, having grown up going there a lot. So I always appreciate that as well. We don't get quite as many movies set in Chicago as you do in like New York City or some of the East Coast.
Oh, yeah. Not at all. And like the Home Alone 1 and 2, obviously, those two have great messages to them, and it's antics, and it's perfect like 90s comedy. It's great. So I'm looking forward to those. And do we know what the next review period has been finalized, right?
Yes.
The one after this. Is it possible to pull that one up, John? I don't know if like what is next on the docket, along with
for the next group sets that they're going to be choosing from, you mean?
Yeah, right. I was obviously disappointed with this past wave that the Legend of Zelda stable didn't get through. Obviously wanted that. But who knows? Lego Nintendo, hey, you never know. So
I also thought the little aquarium build is actually really neat. We saw that in Texas at Brick Fiesta. I think it was last year. The designer was there, and it's a small build, but just really fun, like functionality there. Yeah. You can move it up and down. So that would have been a neat, low price point set for them to go with there. And maybe they will do something with that, with like a gift with purchase type of thing, like they did with the rocket chair ride thing.
Absolutely. I was gonna say holy projects, Batman. Jeez. I don't. Yeah, so I mean, obviously, we're obligated to pull for the Cybertruck, obviously. And out of the oh, sorry, go ahead.
There's so many good ones, like Holly's Coraline, fantastic builder and great build there. You mentioned Nick's Cybertruck. Then you've got, of course, another Legend of Zelda build there.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see an actual Sonic set, because we only got Lego Dimensions, and who knows if they still have a thing with Sega. I'm going to say a controversial opinion here, so get ready to fire off in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. I think that Iron Giant model is fantastic. I think that movie's very overrated. So I think that it has a shot as a model itself, but I can't speak to the movie. I've seen the movie. It's okay.
Funny enough, I actually just watched The Iron Giant for the first time a few weeks ago.
And what did you think? What did you think?
I thought it was good. I think I had like no idea what the movie was about actually going into it. I knew that besides the fact that there was a giant, because I've seen like Lego builds of it, that's all I knew. So I had no idea what it was about going into it. And actually the fact that it kind of tied in with like Cold War history and all of that stuff and kind of like the way people were feeling at that time, I appreciated that. I thought that was interesting. So I think the way it tied into sort of like a lot of that real world history and the way that a lot of people in the country felt during those years, I thought that was cool. And then just, the giant was pretty cool as well. So I enjoyed it, but I don't know. I mean, I will say people do really hype it up. So I don't know if I could see how you would say it's kind of overrated as well.
We'll discuss after the stream. I have some problems with it.
Okay.
Of everything else here, man, I'd love that Krusty Krab to happen. I would love it.
I have like zero connection to SpongeBob, unfortunately. So like whenever
did you have a childhood?
SpongeBob was not a part of my childhood, and so like when Lego released the official sets or like this project, I just have. I know I feel like I should care, but I don't.
Jeez. All right. Well, I guess. What are the other ones that are over here?
The Chitty Chitty Bang Bang car is still one of might be my favorite from all of these. I don't know. There's so many good ones though. I don't know if I can choose a favorite, but that is something I do have a really strong affinity for from my childhood, and just would be so awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones here, man. I don't know how they're going to decide. Like, and if they did 3 from this past wave here, they could maybe justify like 4 of these ones here. Like, there's
so many. And there's another Queen one too. Let's see. We just had a Queen set in the last review, didn't we? Too. And there's the train.
Miracle Express. Yeah.
So I guess that's a bit of a trend there.
Sure. Oh yeah, absolutely. And like Indiana Jones, I feel like that could come back, in terms of an actual licensed theme, happening again.
It also has the I glance over it at first because it's smaller thumbnail there, but is that the ancient Roman city like micro layout? The one build there, it's hard to see with the
historically accurate Rome.
Yeah, well that obviously would be awesome for me as well. I actually forgot that one was in here, but as I've mentioned in the past, my number one theme that I think Lego should do would be like an ancient Rome or ancient Greece theme. So even though this is micro scale, I'd like to see some like actual like minifigs and minifig scale buildings, but that would be a good start to see something like that. So I don't know. That's such an expansive build, though. I would be surprised if they would choose to go that direction.
I'd like to publicly call out in the chat. Andres has commented, "Get in here. Get in here."
That's right. He says he I forgot we have an exclusivity contract where we only talk about ideas, projects, and hotel rooms.
Let's go. Come on, rent the hotel room. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, I don't know. So that's coming fall 2020. So 3 months from now, we'll see. I want to see whatever sets are, due out. Sesame Street, that's exciting. The piano is exciting. I don't know what else is in the tank, but there's a new hotness coming, obviously. Eventually.
I did want to ask you. So one of the projects in that review there, I think, is the like the duck or something.
Untitled Goose Game.
Yes. And John and I talked about this with Andreas a while back on a stream where we were talking about these projects. None of us could figure out what that is or what the point of that is. And the build is like so simple looking. Yeah. I just don't see the appeal there, but.
So Untitled Goose Game came out in, I forget exactly when. It came out during a time when that was the hot game. And as it is with video games, even Animal Crossing right now, like a game is hot, like super, super hot. 2018. Okay, Jeff. It's super hot for about 2 months and then it's like, gone.
Right.
Untitled Goose Game is a 2-hour long-ish game that has a lot of charm to it. You play as a really ticked off goose that wreaks havoc on a town. The mock, the ideas creation here is what it is. Obviously, a lot of effort and time went into it to design it and put it up there. I don't think there's, large scale appeal considering this is an indie game. And in terms of public consciousness, I don't think it would catch on in that way. I think this is a situation of, all right, well, it's popular. You share it on the IGNs, the Kotakus, the whatever, and then there you go, done. So I don't think that it would go through personally. I like the game and it's fun. It's got a lot of charm to it, but I guess we'll see.
It was an independent game, not released by any big.
Not a big studio. Okay. Yeah, it's a very small game, and I won't spoil what the game exactly is, but you're going through the town and you're trying to get to an endpoint, and it's a very contained experience. So there's definitely other ones of these projects that I would believe would sooner go through than this. Yeah.
Thank you for that explanation because we couldn't figure it out with Andreas, and he was helping us out.
Yeah. And it's called Untitled Goose Game. That is not the name of the game. It is just called Untitled Goose Game. Like the game apparently does not have a name, as the developers have said. So, yeah. I mean, I played it. I liked it, but yeah.
Do you have recordings of you playing it on your channel? Maybe I'll have to check that out.
Yes, I do. So I did a playthrough. It was like 5 or 6 videos.
If anyone else is confused like me, check out Bricks O'Brien on YouTube, and you too can figure out what the Untitled Goose Game is all about.
Absolutely. A lot of charm there. A lot of good stuff. But yeah, the next couple of months are going to be good for ideas, and still a lot of good stuff in the pipeline. That question of how long can this maintain at a 10,000 vote threshold? Should it go higher because of so many that's a lot of projects for that review period right there. It's probably going to get even more intense as time goes on. So we'll see.
Because I would imagine that every project that enters the review period, well, that's then a designer or someone at Lego taking time to look into, is this a feasible idea? Can we get licensed for this? All of that, and you have to do that for every new project that gets in there. So at a certain point, they reach the point where it's just too much time spent to review all of these projects. So yeah, that's when you got to raise the bar somehow.
Totally. Yeah. And you want to keep it diversified. You don't want to have too many space things or modular type things or whatever. And Lego Ideas, I feel like as a platform as a whole, is more for the general consumer who isn't into Lego necessarily, but there's a Lego Big Bang Theory or Lego Friends, like you have so many other people going into the Lego store that would normally never buy Lego, but they're like, but I'm going to get the Friends set. And that's where you have Ghostbusters catch on and, Back to the Future. And that's people's one set they get, So I think it has that sort of mainstream appeal too. So that's why Seinfeld will do well, Home Alone, and if other things like that worked as well. I'm curious with Sesame Street, how they're going to do the figures and how they're going to pull that off in terms of custom molded figures or buildable or things like that. We should be seeing something from that maybe this year, early next year, but that's going to be a cool set too.
Maybe you'll get like a Mario style figure like Big Bird or something that interacts with stuff in Sesame Street.
For kids, that would be really cool. That would be awesome. Like that would take longer to develop, I'm sure, to have that in the tank and refine that technology. But that'd be pretty sweet.
No, for sure, yeah. And I mean, there's so many great ideas, projects coming out. It's really amazing just to see what people are doing. And yeah, it's nice to see. The one thing I like about the typewriter is it doesn't have that IP connection. So I always appreciate that. I mean, it's not that the projects aren't cool if they're based on a TV show or movie or something, but the original ideas I think are always impressive and kind of adding something new to the Lego community that isn't out there at all.
Yep, I agree. I tend to fall more for the ones that are properties just based on my own interest, but no, I wholeheartedly agree as well.